So in this film I'm going to have a look at converting this Hornby OO J52 to DCC with lens. Now I don't get the opportunity to see Hornby that often now. I haven't had an account in years, and actually how I've purchased this probably explains why. So this is an incredibly new model and I really love the detail. Full cab interior, you've got a lot of detail underneath the frames there, which might not be being picked up by the camera. It depends if the light is falling on it. Sprung buffers, which apparently are important. Fantastic model. And it's already been fire sailed. So it's been out for less than 6 months. So I've picked up a few items from a shop that was clearing Hornby stock, mainly for demonstration purposes, but also for personal interest. And running it on analog, has a superb mechanism. You've got this heavy die-cast body. So they've come a long way from when I was collecting them. Yeah, this one was done about 30 years ago. Apologise for the paint job, but needs must. I can paint a little bit better now, but it was one of the very first locos I ever repainted. It's also got a split gear, which is a bit of a problem, but this is ancient. I think the chassis probably dates back to Triang days. So body removal is really nice as well. So it's 2 screws at the back, so 1 at each corner, and a 3rd screw that goes through the front coupling hook, which has actually been retained by the brake rigging. Hopefully, we might have to use both hands to get this out. Yeah, it did come out. It didn't drop out, but it did slip out. Needed to hold it firmly. And there we are. It's got a 21 pin blanking socket. Little firebox flicker light there. Manufacturers do like the 21 pin, even though this is only using 6 of the pins. It just means that there's only one way round it will go. There's no trailing wires that you can trap in the body when you put it back in. So, and it's nice and compact, so they can design for a known size. Do tend to recommend that you ease them up one side then the other and just sort of ratchet them up. You don't want to bend the pins, and we'll do that off camera. So there, I just used the tweezers along both sides of the socket and just ease it up. Okay, so this is the Lens Silver 21 decoder, and this here is the blanking plug. On the socket itself, or the pins themselves, you can see there's a missing pin in this corner, and on the chip you should be able to see the missing pin there as well, down at the bottom. So line it up, it's the same shape and size as the blanking plug, and it will just press down. Oops, screw's going for a wander. And that's install basically. Okay, so prior to running I did check out the locomotive on a programming track just to make sure everything's okay. It's not really an issue when you're just plugging in a decoder, but it's always worth trying it for safety. The programming track acts as a safety net. It's only powered when, and it's at lower power when you're sending information. Right, so Lens were instrumental in writing the DCC language, and that means that it's in their interest for their decoders to be 100% DCC NMRA compliant. They've also incorporated some of their own features, and some of their features have seen widespread uptake across the decoder industry. They work together in an organisation called Rail Community that has just about all of the European decoder manufacturers involved, and they can work on new interfaces and new adjustments to all the chips. So it's a great collaborative project, DCC is. The first thing to note is they run beautifully. I'm just doing it for demonstration purposes. I'd normally recommend you put the body back on, but in this case I've checked that there's nothing going to be fouling. I say it's a fully compliant decoder. It will support 9999 addressing. It also does 14, 28 and 128 speed step running, and a few other features like ABC braking and Railcom that are Lentz developed ideas. Also supports the old braking on DC if people are still using that. This is straight out of the box, no settings changed. It's on address 3. Function 1 turns on the firebox glow. It's a steady lamp. These decoders will go into a multitude of different locos with different features. So normally function 1 is probably going to be like a cab light or another lighting effect. So from the factory it's set up on a steady output. But what I can do is go in and reprogram the chip. So CV62, and put it to a value of 2. That makes it flicker. Using the new lens system here, and I'm also taking advantage of Railcom, so I'm actually doing this out on the main track so you could see the immediate effect. But you could do this all on the programming track on your system, depending what system you're using. So now we've got a pleasing little flicker on the firebox. Actually quite nice with the body off to see that detail that they've put in the underframes. Quickly change the address on the model, so going into the menu, programming on the programming track this time, and this time I've added in a separate programming track for this part of the film. And I'm just going to use the loco address shortcut. It will just ticks while it's reading. Go clear that, and we're going to go for 4225. And loco button to send it. And we can just reconfirm it. There we go. We'll move it over to the main track. There we are, so that's the 4-digit addressing. Now with the body on, you can see the firebox glow in there. So really, when you're just getting started, all you need to do is install the chip and change the address. However, there's some interesting programming that you can play with. So I'm going to change CV3, which is acceleration delay. So it's on a low value from the start. I'm going to clear it and overwrite it with a higher value, 50. And CV4 is the opposite, so it's deceleration delay, so the inertia on stopping. And again, it will be on a fairly low value. Now, the stopping one's important, so you still want it to be controllable. If you put too high a value in here, then it will take forever for the loco to stop. So I'm going to do a relatively low value, say 15. Pop it over onto the main track, and you'll see I ramp up the throttle, the loco will accelerate according to those settings, acceleration and braking delay. So it gives the loco a bit more weight. Now on the lens chip you can ignore those settings by pressing function 4, and then the loco will be a direct drive, a very immediately controllable. It's handy in the sort of marshalling yards when you just want to move things around quickly and you don't have to wait for the loco to accelerate up and decelerate. Another handy function on the chip is function 3, which puts it into shunting speed, so it reduces the running speed even further. So I'm currently driving on 28 speed steps. As you can see, the throttle will go up to 28 and eventually the loco will get up there. You can go finer by changing the speed step settings, so loco, menu, speed steps mode, move it to 128. Now you've got 128 steps to go through. Plus side is it's much finer on the control. The negative of 128 is that it's much longer to control the loco, so you have to put a lot more throttle input into it to change things. Nothing changes on the chip, it's just what the control is sending to the chip. Right, the final useful thing is a full factory reset, so I'm just going to put it across to the programming track. Oops. And the length reset is CV8. Oops. Just lost CV8. Yeah, so the factory setting is 99, which is the ID for lengths. If you clear it and type in 33 and send, it will reset the loco back to its factory settings, including the address and the speed settings. So you see it's no longer on 4225. It's now back to 3, and it's back to the original speed setups. So if you make a lot of changes and you don't like the changes, you can do a factory reset and just start again with a blank sheet. So there we are.